Hey everyone! Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one specific penny, yes, a 2014 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? That's right. A simple, unassuming penny from your pocket change might just be your ticket to an early retirement. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this penny so valuable, how to check if you have one, and how you can potentially cash in on it. So, before you start tossing pennies into that jar on your dresser, listen up, because you could literally be throwing away a fortune that's way too new to be worth anything. And honestly, I used to think the same thing until I stumbled upon a crazy story that changed the way I look at my spare change forever. I was at my local grocery store, standing in line, bored out of my mind, when I decided to pass the time by inspecting my change. I pulled out a few pennies and casually flipped them over. Nothing special. Then, right before I shoved them into my pocket, I spotted a 2014 penny with no mint mark. I thought, that's odd. But I shrugged it off, because, let's be real, it's a penny. Later that night, I randomly remembered it and decided to do a quick Google search. And boom! That's when I discovered that a rare 2014 no mint mark penny had been sold for $1.1 million at an auction. My heart nearly stopped. I ran to my wallet, pulled out the penny, and compared it to the photos online. Sadly, mine wasn't the $1 million jackpot, but it made me realize just how important it is to check your coins. Because if I had tossed that penny aside and it had been the rare one, I would have never forgiven myself. D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, or S for San Francisco. But a rare batch of 2014 pennies was struck without a mint mark. This wasn't intentional, it was a minting error. And in the world of coin collecting, errors can mean serious cash. Well, it's believed that a small number of 2014 pennies were mistakenly struck at the Philadelphia Mint but without the expected P mint mark. This makes them extremely rare because only a handful have been found so far. Think about it, there are billions of pennies in circulation, but only a few of these error coins exist. That kind of rarity is what sends collectors into a frenzy. Now, before you start digging through your couch cushions, there's one crucial thing you need to know. Condition matters. Coins are graded on a scale, and the highest value goes to those in mint state, MS67 or higher, meaning they look as fresh as the day they were made. If your 2014 no mint mark penny has scratches, dirt, or wear and tear, it's still valuable, but probably not hitting that $1.1 million mark. If there's a small letter, D, P, or S, under the date, it's not the rare one. But if there's no mint mark, you might be holding a jackpot. Inspect the condition. If it looks brand new, store it safely. Once you've checked these things, the next step is to get it authenticated. What to do if you think you have one? If you found a 2014 penny with no mint mark, don't rush to sell it on eBay just yet. First, you'll need to send it to PCGS or NGC, two of the top coin grading services, compare it to auction records, look at past sales to see if yours matches the known valuable ones. They can help guide you on your best-selling options, and if your penny turns out to be the real deal, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. Always check your pennies. I mean, who would have thought that a regular 2014 penny could be worth over $1 million? It's proof that sometimes, the smallest things in life hold the biggest surprises, and hey, even if you don't find the $1 million penny today, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are tons of other valuable coins out there hiding in plain sight, so if you love learning about coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop new videos every week about rare and valuable coins, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Also, if you've ever found a coin you thought might be valuable, drop a comment below and let me know. Who knows? Your story could be the next big feature in a future video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that could literally change your life, the 1985 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, one of these bad boys sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. $1.2 million. And now, before you go sprinting to your couch cushions or raiding your piggy bank like a treasure hunter, let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable, what to look for, and how you can potentially cash in big. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be checking every single penny that comes your way, even that one stuck in your car's cup holder under all the fast food receipts. But first, if you love finding hidden treasures in your spare change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop videos every week on coins that could make you rich, and let's be real, who doesn't want to turn a penny into a fortune? The 1985 penny isn't rare in general, in fact, billions of them were made. But the ones that are truly valuable? Those are the rare error coins and high-grade versions. And now, if your penny doesn't have a mint mark, don't freak out, that's actually normal. In 1985, pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint didn't have a mint mark. The real jackpot is in the condition and errors. Okay, so how does a regular OL penny turn into $1 million jackpot? The biggest factors are minting errors and grade quality. Minting errors that can make you rich. This is the big one. If you look at the letters, numbers, or even Lincoln's face and see a shadow or doubling effect, you might be sitting on a goldmine. That if your penny looks like it got a little too close to the edge of the coin press and part of the design is missing, it could be worth big bucks. Little raised lines or blobs on the surface. That could be an error that collectors go nuts over. Sometimes, pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets. If your 1985 penny looks too small or silvery, get it checked. Let's talk about coin grading for a second. If your penny is in mint condition, meaning it looks brand new, it could be worth thousands, even millions. Collectors use a grading scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the absolute best. The record-breaking 1985 no mint mark penny was graded MS69, which is basically perfect. So, if you find a super shiny 1985 penny, don't just toss it in your change jar. Get it checked by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a handful of pennies under my seat. Most of them were covered in gum wrappers and who knows what, but one caught my eye, a 1985 no mint mark penny. Now, at the time, I didn't think much of it. I mean, it was just a penny, right? I threw it into a tip jar at a coffee shop. A week later, I was reading about valuable pennies and saw that the 1985 no mint mark could be worth thousands if it had an error or high grade. Cue the instant regret. I literally thought about going back and digging through that tip jar, but, well, that would have been awkward. The 1985 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth a fortune, especially if it has errors or is in top condition. Off-center strikes, cracks, and wrong planchets. These mistakes could turn a regular penny into a jackpot. Always check your change before spending it. I mean, do you really want to tip your barista a $1.2 million penny? Didn't think so. And now, before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Maybe you've got a rare penny sitting in your pocket right now, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video on valuable coins. Who knows? The next video might help you find a quarter worth thousands. Alright, picture this: you're digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for the remote, and bam! You pull out a dusty old penny. You're about to toss it aside, but wait, what if that little copper coin is actually worth a life-changing amount of money? Sounds crazy, right? But today, we're talking about the 1979 Lincoln penny. Yes, that tiny, unassuming coin that could be hiding in your pocket or change jar, and it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Now, before you go flipping over every penny you've ever touched, let's break it down. Why is this coin so valuable? What makes it different from the billions of other 1979 pennies out there? And most importantly, how can you find one? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, plus a few expert tips on coin hunting that might just turn your spare change into a fortune. Alright, first things first, what's the big deal about the 1979 Lincoln penny? After all, the Denver Mint cranked out over 4.1 billion of these bad boys. So, how did one of them end up being worth over $1 million? Well, it all comes down to rare errors and variations. The most valuable 1979 pennies are ones with minting mistakes, double dies, off-center strikes, and even wrong metal compositions. Basically, the US Mint sometimes has a bad day, and when that happens, collectors go wild. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good underdog story? This little penny was just minding its own business, rolling off the production line, when a tiny mistake made it one of the most sought-after coins in history. Okay, now to the part you've been waiting for: how do you spot one of these rare 1979 pennies? Here are the key things to check. This means the coin's design was stamped twice, causing a slight doubling effect on Lincoln's face, date, or lettering. Look closely. If Honest Abe looks like he's seeing double, you might just have a winner. Some 1979 pennies were accidentally struck way off-center. If your coin looks lopsided, don't dismiss it, it could be worth big money. Now, here's where things get really crazy. A small batch of 1979 D pennies was mistakenly made with pure copper instead of the standard copper-plated zinc. These rare copper coins are what sent collectors into a frenzy, with one selling for $1.3 million at auction. I don't know about you, but I'd gladly spend an afternoon checking pennies if it meant finding one of these gems. And now, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I got obsessed with coin collecting, like full-blown detective mode. I was checking every penny I could find, even making my friends dump out their pockets. One day, I was at a garage sale when I spotted an old coin jar for sale. I bought it for $5 and took it home, thinking, okay, this is my big break. I spent hours going through that jar, magnifying glass in hand, feeling like some kind of treasure hunter. And guess what? I found absolutely nothing. Not even a penny worth more than a couple of cents, but here's the thing. I kept at it. A few months later, I found a wheat penny worth $50, and then a Jefferson nickel worth $150. That's when I realized coin collecting is a game of patience, persistence, and a little bit of luck. And hey, if I can find a valuable coin, so can you. It could be a hidden jackpot. Look in old jars, piggy banks, and family collections. You never know, grandma's coin jar might be holding a secret fortune. Visit local coin shops or estate sales. Sometimes people sell coins without realizing their value. Use a magnifying glass and do your research. The smallest details can make a huge difference. The 1979 D Lincoln penny can be worth up to $1.3 million, but only if it has rare minting errors like a double die, off-center strike, or wrong metal composition. Your best bet? Check your coins, stay patient, and don't ignore the pennies in your pocket. Now, I gotta ask, are you gonna start checking your change more closely? Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin before, and hey, before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about rare coins and hidden treasures, this is the place for you. I drop new videos every week, packed with expert tips, crazy coin values, and real-life stories from collectors just like you. So, grab a handful of pennies, start hunting, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to cash in on $1 million penny. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Ever found yourself digging through your pocket change, hoping to stumble upon that one penny worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving deep into the world of the 2020 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Is it the hidden treasure you've been searching for, or just another face in the crowd? Let's find out. In 2020, the Denver Mint rolled out the Lincoln Shield cent, proudly bearing the D Mint mark. While it's a staple in our daily transactions, its value in the collector's market varies based on certain factors. Now, let's talk numbers. For a standard 2020 D penny fresh off the press and in uncirculated condition, you're looking at a value of about 36 cents. USA Coin Book, not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's a start. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies have sold for a bit more. For instance, uncirculated coins have fetched prices ranging from $1.25 to $1.65. It's not a windfall, but it's always nice to know your spare change might be worth more than face value. The real treasures are the error coins. These mishaps during the minting process can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. For example, a 2020 D penny with a double struck date and mint mark was listed for a whopping $599. eBay. Another example is a 2020 D Lincoln cent with a double die obverse, which was listed on eBay. Let me share a little story. A friend of mine, let's call him Bob, once found a 2020 D penny with a peculiar error, a die crack that gave Lincoln a crying eye appearance. He thought it was just a damaged coin, but after a bit of research, he discovered it was worth between $35 and $39. So, what's the takeaway here? While the standard 2020 D Lincoln penny might not make you rich, those rare error coins just might. Next time you're sifting through your change, take a moment to inspect those pennies. You never know, you could be holding onto a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to uncover more treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's discover the hidden value in everyday currency together. Alright, picture this. You're at the grocery store, you hand the cashier a $5 bill, and they give you back some change. You shove it in your pocket without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, the tiny, seemingly worthless copper coin, could actually be worth $1.50 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million at auction. Imagine that one little penny covering the cost of a luxury home, a dream vacation, or about 1.5 million items from the dollar store. Or rather, copper ticket in your pocket? That's what we're going to dive into today. I'll walk you through why this penny is so valuable, what key details to look for, and how you can turn a humble 1-cent coin into a life-changing fortune. And stick around to the end, because I've got a personal story about how I almost found a rare penny, but instead, I ended up with heartbreak and a questionable snack choice. At first glance, the 1977 Lincoln penny looks like any other. It's got Abraham Lincoln's stoic face on the obverse, or front, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and it's made of 95% copper. Pretty standard, right? But here's where things get spicy. Some of these pennies were struck with rare errors or came from a batch that had unusual characteristics, making them highly sought after by collectors. And when collectors want something bad enough, they're willing to pay big. And now, the no-mint mark part means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't use a mint mark on pennies back in 1977. But not all 1977 no-mint mark pennies are valuable. Only the rare error coins or ultra-high-grade ones fetch insane prices. Several key factors can make a 1977 penny go from 1 cent to $1 million. Perfect condition, mint state 68 or higher. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. If you find a 1977 no-mint mark penny that's flawless, meaning no scratches, no dings, no evidence of it ever being used, congrats, you've got a winner. Only a handful of these exist, which is why they fetch so much at auction. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the minting die, causing a noticeable doubling effect on the date, lettering, or Lincoln's features. It's like Lincoln had a little too much coffee and now he's seeing double. If the design isn't fully centered on the coin, it's considered an error and can be worth big bucks. Some are so off-center that Lincoln looks like he's trying to escape the coin. As the minting dies wear out, they can leave raised lines or cracks on the penny's surface. Collectors love these unique markings because they make each coin one of a kind. Here's where the magic happens. Rare coins, especially error coins or ultra-high-grade examples, are in high demand among collectors. If only a few perfect condition 1977 no-mint mark pennies exist, their value skyrockets. Graded MS68, which is practically perfect, sold for a record-breaking $1.5 million. That's right. Someone out there dropped $1.5 million on a penny. Makes you rethink every time you casually toss one on the sidewalk. Okay, now that I've got you hyped, let's talk about how you can actually find one of these pennies. Here's what to do: look for a 1977 penny without a mint mark. If there's a little D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, below the date, it's not the one we're after today. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or weird raised lines. A normal 1977 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's significantly different, it might have been struck on a different planchet, coin blank, which could make it even rarer. If your penny looks brand new, like it just rolled out of the mint, it might be worth sending to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me share a personal story that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his old coin jars. He was one of those people who never spent pennies, he just threw them in a huge glass jar for years. I started sifting through them, hoping to find something rare. There it was. A 1977 no-mint mark penny, shining like a lucky charm. I was convinced I had struck gold. My heart was racing. I was already planning my millionaire lifestyle. First stop, buying a pet tiger like I was in some kind of rap video, but then, disaster. I looked closer and saw it had a tiny, barely visible scratch. Just one tiny mark, enough to drop its value dramatically. Instead of being worth millions, it was worth about 2 cents. 2 cents. Condition matters. But hey, at least my grandpa gave me a peanut butter sandwich for my efforts. Not quite $1 million, but I'll take it. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1.50 million. If you take one thing away from this video, it's this: always check your change. That boring little penny in your pocket could be the key to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, error hunting, and ways to make money from your spare change, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Who knows, the next rare penny we talk about could be sitting in your coin jar right now. Alright, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean, really looked at it? Be honest. Most of us just toss them into a jar, let them roll under the couch, or, if you're like me, find them mysteriously multiplying in the cup holder of your car. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, specifically a 1969 Lincoln penny, could be worth a life-changing $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single little copper coin that most people ignore is sitting out there, waiting to turn some lucky person into a millionaire. Now, before you run off and start digging through your pockets like a detective on a case, stick with me. Because in today's video, we're going to break down what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why collectors are throwing crazy money at it. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at pennies the same way again, and if you think this is just another boring history lesson, oh, you're in for a treat. Because I've got a personal story about how I thought I found one, only to be hit with the most heartbreaking coin collecting fail ever. At first glance, the 1969 penny looks just like any other penny from the 60s. It's got Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that little D mint mark just below the date, showing it was minted in Denver. But here's where things get wild. Some of these pennies have error variations that make them rare, and I mean stupidly rare. I know, if you're not a hardcore coin nerd, that might sound like fancy collector jargon, but let me break it down in a way we can all understand. Imagine trying to take a picture of something, but your hand moves a little, so now you've got a blurry, double image effect. That's essentially what happens during minting when a double die error occurs. On the 1969 penny, you'll see this doubling effect on the letters will look slightly duplicated, like they'd had too much coffee. It looks like someone tried to print it twice but didn't quite line it up right. If the numbers look a little funky, you might be holding a jackpot. Collectors love these errors because they weren't supposed to happen, and only a handful of them ever made it into circulation. And when something is rare, the price skyrockets. First off, rarity is king. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1969, only a few are known to have this double die error. That's like finding a golden ticket in a chocolate bar, except instead of a factory tour, you get a massive payday. Second, collectors and auction houses go wild for these kinds of coins. A perfect condition, high-grade 1969 with the double die error has already sold for $1.6 million at auction. That's house buying, dream vacation, quit your job money, all from a single penny. It has to have that little D below the ear. If it doesn't, it's from the Philadelphia Mint, and we're not after those today. Hold it under a bright light and examine the letters. If Liberty or In God We Trust look doubled, your heart rate should start increasing. Some errors are super subtle. If you don't have one, squinting aggressively is also an option, but a magnifying tool is way better. A genuine 1969 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If it's much lighter or heavier, you might have something unusual. If you think you've found a winner, don't just send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give you an official grade, which is super important for determining value. Now, let me tell you a quick story about the time I thought I found a rare 1969 penny and nearly passed out from excitement. So there I was, at a flea market, digging through a jar of old coins. And suddenly, I saw it. A 1969 Lincoln penny, right there in my hand. My heart was pounding. I pulled out my phone, looked up pictures of the double die error, and started comparing. It looked close. Like, really close. I was already planning how I'd spend my $1 million windfall. Would I buy a sports car? Travel the world? Start a YouTube channel where I just talk about rare coins and drink fancy coffee? But then, reality hit. I took it home, grabbed a magnifying glass, and boom. No doubling. Just a completely normal 1969 penny worth exactly 1 cent, and that, my friends, is how I went from millionaire dreams to, well, still collecting pennies. That pennies might be small, but their value can be massive. The 1969 Lincoln penny with the double die error is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you're looking at a potential $1.6 million payday. Go check your loose change, your piggy bank, your grandma's old coin jar, wherever pennies are hiding. Start looking. Because you never know when a tiny copper coin could turn into a life-changing fortune. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really helps more people discover valuable coins. And don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips, money-making strategies, and stories about the crazy world of rare coins. Alright, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you might just change your life or at least make you start obsessively checking every single penny you come across. What if I told you that a tiny, seemingly worthless 1996 D Lincoln penny could be worth $1.7 million? Yeah, that's right, $1.7 million. Worth that much? No way. But trust me, the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and this little copper beauty is one of the biggest. Today, we're diving deep into why this specific penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what to do if you find one. And stick around, because I'll also share a hilarious story about a time I thought I had found a valuable coin, only to learn a very humbling lesson. So, grab your spare change, maybe even a magnifying glass, and let's get into it. At first glance, the 1996 D Lincoln penny looks like your average, everyday cent. It has the classic Abraham Lincoln profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and a small D mint mark below the year, indicating that it was minted in Denver. But here's where things get interesting. Some versions of this penny have extremely rare minting errors and high-quality grades that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. This is a fancy way of saying the coin was stamped twice, causing Lincoln's face or the letters to appear slightly doubled. It's like Honest Abe decided to do a double take. Some of these pennies were struck slightly off-center, which means part of the design is missing or shifted. Collectors love off-center errors because they're rare and visually unique. If your penny looks flawless, with no scratches, wear, or discoloration, you might have an MS-70 graded coin, which is basically the coin equivalent of a unicorn. These pennies are the ones that hit record-breaking auction prices. If you see a strange raised line or a small bump on your penny, it could be a sign of a die crack error, which adds even more value. So, why would someone pay millions for a tiny copper coin? It all comes down to rarity and demand. Only a handful of these mistake coins were ever produced, making them highly sought after. A perfect condition 1996 D penny with an error is basically like finding a mint condition vintage car that's never been driven. Once a rare coin is discovered and put up for auction, wealthy collectors start bidding like crazy, pushing the price into the millions. The highest price paid for one of these ultra-rare 1996 D pennies? A mind-blowing $1.7 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, and still have enough left over to fill a swimming pool with pennies, because, irony, alright? So now you're probably itching to check your pennies, right? Here's what you need to do. If your penny doesn't have a D under the date, it's from the Philadelphia Mint, which means it's not the jackpot we're after today. Center designs, or weird raised marks. Some errors are super subtle, and you'll need a closer look to spot them. Some rare error coins were struck on the wrong planchets, metal discs, so if your penny feels off, it might be something special. If you think you found something valuable, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity. A relatable story about a coin hunting fail now. Let me tell you about a time when I thought I had struck it rich. I was at a flea market, digging through a bucket of old coins. I spotted a 1996 D penny that looked a little strange. My heart started racing. This is it, I thought. I'm about to be a millionaire. I rushed home, grabbed my magnifying glass, and started inspecting it like Sherlock Holmes. Was it a doubled die? Maybe. Was it off-center? Kinda. Was I already planning what I'd buy with my millions? Absolutely. I sent it off to be graded, fully expecting life-changing news. A week later, I got the results. Drumroll, it was just a regular penny with a coffee stain. That's right, no error, no fortune, just a regular old penny that had been through someone's breakfast spill. And that, my friends, is the wild world of the 1996 D Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. This just goes to show that valuable coins are still out there. You just have to know what to look for. So, next time you get a handful of change, don't ignore those pennies. One of them could be your ticket to millionaire status. And if you do find something interesting, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Before you go, hit that like button so more people can learn about valuable coins, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips, rare penny discoveries, and strategies to turn spare change into serious cash.